It's been a while since I made a video, but here I am. Life's gotten the best of me. Been busy with a lot of stuff, working on video projects that will be released in the future, working on baits, and fine-tuning the production details on the new, made in the USA, factory-produced Citizens. Citizen 7. Guys that have fished these for a long time, that have been able to get access to them, they're quick to the cart, they're gonna notice a few differences. Nothing major, but things that I think will really satisfy them. They'll be stoked about it. If you've never fished them, you're not gonna notice anything different. But for all intents and purposes, my favorite of the Citizens, 7-inch Citizen Silver. So. Got them right out of the package. Biggest thing to address right now is these are now being made in the USA, not on a mass production level, but still hand poured by a crew of people in a factory setting. We've done our best to make sure they're almost identical to what they were before when I was pouring every single one of them. And this is all part of the growing process of the business. There's some variations that have to take place in order to make it feasible, but nothing that is going to completely change the bait. But the biggest thing that guys are gonna notice is that I intentionally softened up the plastic. Not a ton, it's the exact same that's on the Battle Shads now, a little bit softer. Bait's got a lot more flex to it. It means you can get that tail kicking on a much slower roll. I also increased the size of the inner chamber. That will help the bait collapse a lot more, so that you get far better hook penetration. And then the cosmetic change that guys that have fished them before are going to notice is that now the baits are going to arrive in the package with more of a semi-gloss finish. Now, I used to hand torch every single bait. That really seals it all up, makes it nice, crisp, pops, shines, like boom, it's almost a high gloss look. But we can't do that at the factory. It's really labor intensive. The price has already increased, so getting the full torching going on every single bait would jack that price up even more. It doesn't affect the action so much as it's just a cosmetic look, and it kind of seals everything up. I'm just gonna go over how you can do that on your own if that's how you prefer your baits to look. This is just a butane torch. You can get them at like any little like Bed Bath & Beyond. You can also use little propane torches. Those are the ones I prefer when I was doing massive amounts of baits. I'd use the large propane torch. And you just want to get a nice little flame. Can't really see it right now because it's so bright out, but there's a nice little blue flame to it. It's not shooting out at the high speed volume like that. Just kind of like, you know, a 30%, about a 20% mark. If you can see it now, there's kind of that semi-gloss to it. So I'm just going to take it and do a nice little gentle little glaze down the bait so that you get a nice gloss. I don't know if you can see that in the video or not, but it really kind of pulls all that, just makes it just bling a little bit more. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing over here. And that's it. Just gives it that little extra pop. Now, you don't want to overdo it. You just got to basically kiss the surface of the plastic with the flame, and it's going to really seal everything up. This works on any soft plastic, whether it's Huds, Baitsmiths, Nates. Just go down the list. When your baits start getting a little old and dull looking, you can always just hit them with the torch. Just a light glaze brings that oil to the surface while also kind of remelting any little stragglers that might be sticking out here and really seals that bait tight again. I used to do this on every single bait that I hand poured, but it's just not feasible in a production setting. As an actual process, taking out and torching every single one with the crew of people, there's a lot of margin for error. It's just safer to say, hey, the bait's great as is, but if you want to go that extra step, you can throw that light little glaze by kissing it with the flame, and boom, pop, there it is. Other than that, dude, the bait is pretty much the exact same. I'm super stoked that we're getting it into a production setting using American workers. That is like the most important thing for me. I get to see that direct impact in the community. I know where my money is going. I mean, I couldn't be happier about that aspect of it. Switching up to the slightly softer plastic, I think a lot of guys are going to be super stoked on that. I know a lot of dudes want to use it as a crawling bait where they get a little bit of that tail kick. I used to prefer it, using it a little bit more as a medium retrieve, more of a search bait, get that reaction bite. But by going a little bit softer, that doesn't hurt that action. I can still fish it at that speed by having a softer plastic. So now, should be able to fish it at a much slower speed and get that tail kicking how you want it. I'm going to be fishing much deeper today, so I'm going to be fishing the 10-aught 3/4 ounce beast hook. I'll just rig it up real quick so we see how simple it is. For those guys that haven't seen a rigging video in a while and aren't totally sure, what I want to make sure I do though is, see this centering pin right here? I want to make sure that goes dead center of the face and this way too. Dead center. It doesn't need to be down here on the chin, doesn't need to be up here. Dead center. Kind of eyeball it, make sure you're centered that way. Here we go. And then I'm gonna go straight in. And I like to button it down all the way tight. So it's all the way up there. My little trick with this, and it is very important, is you gotta make sure you bend these up just a smidge. I want that hook point popped up just a little bit, so that when a fish bites it and I'm setting that hook, it comes out and it actually grabs their mouth. So I'm not fully prepared, but let me pull out these pliers real quick to bend this bad boy up. Just a little bit. That should do it right there. It doesn't take much with these owner hooks. Last thing, you kind of want to make sure that that bait is hanging straight. You see right now how it's not hanging straight? I just need to crank it a little bit more so that now it's pretty much in line. You do that so that all the forces on it aren't working it to try and turn it sideways or any of that stuff. You want to make sure it hangs straight up and down. And then I'm just going to take it, I'm going to push it up into the belly, put the hook point up in there, and you'll notice, guys that have the battle shads or the citizens, the battle shads are sealed up on the belly. That's a part of the process. The citizens, it uses a different insert to do this. There's no clear coating taking place, so it doesn't seal this belly shut. I actually prefer them to be sealed. I feel like it keeps that hook buttoned in the bait a lot better, so you don't get a hook trying to come out that way. So if you prefer, I would suggest sealing this up as well. But straight out of the package, these will not be sealed. They never have been. At any rate, still moving forward. Now I'm just gonna feel on the back where the back of that hook bend is about right there on the bait. I'm gonna fold the bait forward on itself and then make sure I am centered and come straight up and out of the bait. And holy cow, I actually bent that hook up too much. I didn't even put much force on it. So a lot of dudes will probably trip on this, but I'm gonna bend it back down a little bit. Might have a little bit of a bunk hook here. Since that hook bent up so much, let's go ahead and poke it back up through this hole. There it is. And wow, it is still bent up. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna try it again. All right, there we go. I don't know how well this hook is right now. It seems to be bending very easily. But there it is, you can see it. I have that hook point sitting up just enough so that, boom, now I'm really gonna get good penetration on those fish when they eat it. So that's it. Citizen 7, it's rigged. This is the new factory version. I did the little light torching to gloss it up. You can see, I'm already, just by me rubbing it a bunch, it's kind of semi-glossing it out again. You just get that going. You can throw a little torch on it, seal everything up, getting a little gloss back to it. Hold it this way if you prefer. Rotate it around, hit it this way. And just make sure you let it cool for just a moment before you go touching the areas that you just torched. Just gonna dunk it to cool it real quick. That cold water, if I just do a quick dunk, that cold water will seal everything right up. Something else that I'll do, if I'm trying to hit 40 feet or something like that, and the 3/4 ounce just isn't doing it, I'm just gonna take some tungsten nails, not lead nails, tungsten nails. I'm gonna just push them in either behind this fin right here or right up underneath that cheek. Just slide them up in there real nice. So that's one on that side, and I'm not shooting them into the bait, I'm shooting them up parallel with the belly of the bait underneath the outer edge of the plastic. So now this thing should be banging the bottom in 40 feet as long as you're fishing uphill. If you're fishing 40 to 60, you're gonna have a hard time feeling the bottom. That's a whole different conversation. That's about boat positioning, proper retrieves, all that stuff. So if I want to be fishing 40 feet flat or 40 feet uphill, I'm bringing the bait uphill, I should be hitting the bottom no problem with this 3/4 ounce and then these 1/8 ounce right there. That's basically an ounce of weight on this bait, and this thing is pretty much going to come through anything at that point. That's what I love about the baits. Super duper snagless, and they get bit, and when they get bit, you got a 10-aught beast hook ready to penetrate that fish's mouth. So don't need to say any more. That's it. Really stoked about it all. Looks super clean. The crew that's working on it has been trained. They understand what to look for. They understand how I do it. They're awesome. I love it. So yeah, anyways, I'm not gonna talk in circles about it anymore. Super happy about it. I hope that these can start making it into the hands of a lot of other anglers. I know they've been in high demand. That's the goal here, and I'm super proud that they're made in the USA. That was a battle all on itself. And at any rate, yeah, stoked to be moving forward. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. The wife and I, we love the support. We really do appreciate it. We're still 100% hands-on with everything in the business. Packing, picking, all that stuff. Those little notes that come on the orders, that's either me or my wife. So we do really appreciate it. We try and do the best we possibly can. And yeah, until next time, get out there and stick one. Hopefully on one of these.